Students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the second class, pediatric gastroenterology, and last class was on congenital anomalies of GI tract. Today class is on acute diarrhea. One of the most important topics in pediatrics. One of the most important in the sense, why is it important? Because diarrheal disease is one of the major contributors to under 5 mortality in developing countries. One of the major contributors. Okay. So what are the major contributors to under 5 mortality in developing countries? It is एक number में acute diarrhea, दुई number में respiratory lower respiratory tract infections, pneumonias. Third, malnutrition. So let us try to understand the facts before we go to the topic. So acute diarrheal illness has got a high morbidity and mortality. More than 5,000 children die due to diarrheal diseases. You can see the burden of disease. More than 5,000 children die every day due to diarrheal disease, and this is mostly in developing countries like ours. Approximately 2 million children die every year from diarrheal disease before the age of 5. And this is the second most common cause of death, accounting for 18% of under 5 deaths. So this was the data that was given by UNICEF in 2008. अहिलेको latest data most likely तिमीहरूलाई चाहिँ निश्चल ढकालले कम्युनिटी मेडिसिनमा दिनुहुन्छ होला नेपालको डाटा र वर्ल्ड वाइडको डाटा त्यहाँबाट एकचोटि रेफरेन्स लिनु. So how do we define diarrhea? Diarrhea is defined as increased total daily stool output and is usually associated with increased stool water content. This is the definition that is there in the standard textbook of pediatrics, Nelson textbook of pediatrics. Worldwide standard textbook follow गर्छौं त्यसको definition हो यो. Increased total daily stool output, which is usually associated with increased stool water content. This definition is also acceptable. Change in consistency and frequency in stools more than 3 times per day. Change in consistency and frequency of stools more than 3 times per day is also an accepted standard definition. Stool volume, if it is more than 10 grams per kg per day in infants and toddlers and more than 200 grams per day in older children, is another definition, but this is very difficult. You cannot keep on weighing the stool and say whether it is diarrhea or not. So this is not practical. And we call acute diarrhea if it lasts less than 14 days. Acute diarrhea lasts less than 14 days. Usually acute diarrhea lasts 5 to 7 days. Usually 5-7 दिन रहन्छ. Maximum यो 14 दिन भन्दा उता जानु हुँदैन. If it lasts more than 14 days, if diarrhea continues more than 14 days, we call it chronic diarrhea. So at least acute chronic cutoff cha timarलाई you must know. This is a must know topic, right? This is a must know. तिमीहरुले जान्नै पर्छ. यो नजानिकिन you will not pass MBBS. In fact, when I did my MBBS back in 2001, I finished my MBBS in 2001. Okay. त्यो बेलामा pediatric was not a different subject. अहिले तिमीहरुको एउटा pediatric different subject भएर आयो. त्यो बेलामा I did my study from Bangladesh. त्यो बेलामा pediatric was part of medicine. Medicine भित्र एउटा हुन्थ्यो र एउटा question paper मा एउटा group आउँथ्यो र we had to study only acute diarrheal disease, malnutrition and pneumonia. तीनटा मात्र परे पुग्थ्यो pediatrics मा. Whereas अहिले चाहिँ हामीले details मा सबै topic सबै system पढाउँछौं. So these are must not topic. त्यो बेलामा पनि खाली diarrhea, pneumonia, र malnutrition, because these were the major contributors to under 5 mortality at that time also. सधैँ त्यही नै छ, अहिले पनि छ. So what is not diarrhea? So there is something called as exaggerated gastrocolic reflex. This is usually seen in newborn babies who had just been born. Bacha, doctor, bacha chahi aile 2 weeks. Just a minute, students, I got a call. Hello. Hello. I'm sorry. So what is not diarrhea? There is something called as exaggerated gastrocolic reflex, which is seen in newborns. Aba kunai motherle doctor, my baby is just 2 weeks old, but from the last 2-3 days, he passes stool after each episode of breastfeeding. Okay, so this is not diarrhea. This is exaggerated gastrocolic reflex, which is seen in newborns till 3-4 months of age. दिनमा 5-6 चोटी 7 चोटी 8 चोटी सम्म पनि हुन्छ 10 चोटी सम्म पनि हुन्छ and this should not be confused with diarrhea. Another entity, chronic constipation. Constipation is one of the most common cause of abdominal pain in children. Please remember, सबभन्दा common बच्चाहरुको problem भनेको पेट दुख्ने. So pain abdomen, most common cause of pain abdomen in children is chronic constipation. Chronic constipation भएको बेलामा कहिलेकाहीँ overflow incontinence हुन्छ जसलाई हामीले चाहिँ encopresis भनेर भन्छौं. ENCOPRESIS, encopresis. So whenever you come across a child whose mother says doctor ulai cha bela बेलामा कट्टुमा दिशा चुइराख्छ अलिअलि उसको चाहिँ fecal incontinence भइराख्छ भनेर भन्यो भनेदेखि you should ask उसको पहिलाको bowel habit के थियो हैन 3-4 दिन 4-5 दिनमा एकचोटी गर्थ्यो सधैँ यस्तै गर्छ गएको केही महिनादेखि दिनमा डेली एभ्री डे गर्दैन उले चाहिँ 4-5 दिन 5-6 दिन 6-7 दिनमा एकचोटी गर्छ तर डेली अलिअलि चौन्छ भन्यो भनेदेखि this should not be confused with diarrhea. This is chronic constipation ले गर्दाखेरि इन्कोप्रेसिस भयो ओभरफ्लो इन्कन्टिनेन्स भयो. सुन्ने मलाई त थाहा नै हुँदैन. Please rest, please. Hello. Tunisha, are you listening to me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, what is not diarrhea, Bhanata?
Exaggerated gastrocolic reflex in newborn. We may mistaken that that's diarrhea, but that's not diarrhea.
Another one? Another one.
I don't remember.
You don't remember. Jigyasa? Ritika Das? Ritika, are you there? Prakrit?
Yes, sir.
What is not diarrhea?
एउटा exaggerated gastrocolic reflex अनि अर्को चाहिँ इन्क्रोप्रेसिस क्रोनिक कन्स्टिपेसन भएर कट्टुमै स्टुल लिक हुने
के हो? अरे डिस्टर्ब हुन्छ एउटा क्लास दिँदाखेरि पनि पछि आउनु. Can you see this slide, Prakrit?
Yes, sir.
ए ल यहाँ म बीचमा फेरि फोन आयो यस्तै हुन्छ म हस्पिटलमै छु. So acute diarrhea. Causes of acute diarrhea, it can be non-inflammatory or inflammatory. Inflammatory are due to enterotoxins, bacteria ले गर्दाखेरि bacteria को enterotoxins ले गर्दाखेरि हुने गर्छ. It can be due to destruction of villi due to viruses, and it can be due to adherence by parasites. These are non-inflammatory, and inflammatory is due to the cytotoxins that is released by certain bacteria. यो non-inflammatory inflammatory cause of diarrhea छ भन्न जान्नु किन जरुरी छ भन्देखि यो Southeast Asia ma every child who has got diarrhea are given an antibiotic and antiprotozoal or antiamoebic. Antiprotozoal, antiamoebic दुईटै एउटै काम गर्ने, metronidazole, as you know. So metronidazole invariably every other children gets antiparasitic, antiamoebic तिम्रो चाहिँ metronidazole and antibiotics. Third generation oral cephalosporin नै दिने चलन छ आजकल. कोट्रामाक्सोजोल खासै त्यति युज हुँदैन. यो दुईटा र बुझ्नु के जरुरी छ भन्दाखेरि antibiotic is necessary only for inflammatory cause diarrhea. Non-inflammatory मा usually antibiotic doesn't work. अब भाइरसले गर्दाखेरि antibiotic थोरै जरुरी छ. So certain केही bacteriaले गर्दाखेरि भयो भने पनि you don't have to give antibiotics. That is very important. So what are the etiology of acute diarrhea? It can be due to viruses, rotavirus, norovirus, sapovirus, gastroenteric, adenovirus, cytomegalovirus, bacteria, as you know, Escherichia coli, Salmonella, Shigella, Vibrio. In parasite, it is Giardia lamblia, Intermedia histolytica. Most common cause of diarrhea in developing countries, giardiasis and amoebiasis, Cryptosporidium parvum, Isosperma bailey, and fungi Candida albicans in immunocompromised individuals. So what are the risk factors for acute diarrhea? Poor sanitation, poor personal hygiene, non-availability of safe drinking water, unsafe food preparation, storage practice, low rate of breastfeeding, immunization, and malnutrition. So these are the risk factors for acute diarrheal diseases. I joined Nepal Medical College back in 2006 as a lecturer. It's been almost 2006. It's been almost I'm completing 14 years in NMCTH. त्यो बेला acute diarrheal diseaseहरु सारै नै धेरै आउँथे. But the last few years, यो 2-3 वर्ष 3-4 वर्षदेखि त अहिले झन् diarrheal diseaseहरु एकदमै कम भएर गएको छ. Most likely किन भन्दाखेरि sanitation को problemsहरु पहिला जुन थियो अहिले कम छ, sanitation proper sanitation छ अहिले, पर्सनल हाइजिन पनि अलिकति अवेरनेस पनि बढ्दै गयो। आजकल सेफ ड्रिङ्किङ वाटर एभाइलेबल जताततै तिमीहरूले यो चाहिँ जारको पानी देख्छौ दोकानहरुमा। सो सेफ ड्रिङ्किङ वाटर, सेफ फुड प्रिपरेसनले गर्दाखेरि नै आजकल डायरियल डिजिज कम भयो होला। झन् अहिले यो कोभिड सुरु भएदेखि त चैतको 11 गतेदेखि त बच्चाहरू ठ्याक्कै बिरामी नै भएका छैनन्। हाम्रो पीडियाट्रिक ओपीडीमा बिलिभ मी अहिले वैशाख जेठ असार श्रावणमा एभ्री डे 120 to 130 पेशेन्ट्स हाम्रो ओपीडीमा आउँथे। 120 130 पेशेन्ट्स। जबकि अहिले हाम्रो ओपीडीमा अहिले पनि खुल्ला छ। आई एम कमिङ एभ्री डे इन एनएमसी। 5-6 जना 6-7 जना 5-6 जना 6-7 जना के भयो होला त? किन यस्तो कम भएर गयो? बिरामी नै छैनन्। किनभनेदेखि कोरोनाले हात धुन सिकाइदियो। हात धुन सिकाइदिएपछि तिम्रो फिको ओरल रुटबाट हुने सबै डिजिजहरू हुने भएन। एक्युट डायरियल इलनेसहरू हुने भएन। हेपाटाइटिस ए हुने भएन। एन्टेरिक फिभर हुने भएन। त्यसपछि भाइरस स्कुलहरू सबै बन्द भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि देयर इज नो क्रस इन्फेक्सन। भाइरल इन्फेक्सनको क्रस इन्फेक्सन छैन। द्याट इज द रिजन almost every children are healthy in nowadays all over the world actually. यहाँ मात्र होइन कि there are no patients actually in hospitals. So what are the mechanisms of diarrhea? It is due to toxin. Diarrhea due to toxin. Toxin stimulate the synthesis of adenyl cyclase in the enterocyte, which increase the production of cyclic AMP, which causes loss of water and electrolytes from the cells. And the toxin releasing bacteria are enterotoxigenic Escherichia coli, enteropathogenic Escherichia coli, Vibrio cholerae. So these are the toxin producing bacteria. And diarrhea due to diarrheic invasion by the organism. Certain bacteria like Shigella and Campylobacter jejuni directly invades the mucosa. It proliferates and causes necrosis of the cells. That causes blood and mucus in stools. Rotavirus is one of the most important causes. Almost 50-60% of all diarrheas are due to rotavirus. It causes jejunal mucosal damage that causes villus atrophy, that causes interruption in absorption, and causes transient lactose intolerance. अब usually तिम्रो lactose intolerance हुने कारण rotavirus diarrhea मा there is an enzyme called lactase that is there in the villi. When there is jejunal damage, there is sloughing off of villi. Villus atrophy मात्र होइन कि there is sloughing off of villi from the entire jejunum. And this, because of the lack of lactase enzyme, the lactose which is there in the milk will not be tolerated, and there will be transient lactose intolerance. This lactose is fermented into weak lactic acid that causes perianal excoriation in the perianal area. Perianal excoriation भनेको रातो भएर हुन्छ, which causes pain and this thing in child, excessive crying हुन्छ त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि. So whenever you come across a child, doctor उसलाई चाहिँ लगभग 2 हप्ता जस्तो भयो डायरिया रोग 1 हप्ता जस्तो डायरिया भयो, त्यसपछि चाहिँ उसको पछाडिपट्टि एकदम रातो भएर गएको छ, डायरिया अहिले पनि कन्टिन्यू छ भनेर भनेदेखि it is transient lactose intolerance. So let us see the difference between the osmotic and secretory diarrhea now. The classical example of osmotic diarrhea is lactose intolerance due to viral etiology, and the classical example of secretory diarrhea is cholera. Effect of fasting on stool frequency and consistency. Diarrhea stops on fasting in osmotic diarrhea, whereas it continues in secretory diarrhea. Child with osmotic diarrhea will not be ill-looking, whereas secretory diarrhea will be ill-looking. Stools will be watery in secretory diarrhea. Flatulence is marked in osmotic diarrhea. As I said just now, perianal excoriation will be present in osmotic diarrhea due to fermentation of lactose into weak lactic acid. Withdrawal of offending agent means if you withdraw milk in diet in osmotic diarrhea, diarrhea will stop. Whereas there is no offending agent in secretory diarrhea, it doesn't respond to any change in diet. Dehydration is marked in secretory diarrhea. Volume of stools is significant in secretory diarrhea, more than 200 ml per 24 hours, and stool consistency is soupy in osmotic diarrhea, whereas it is watery in secretory diarrhea. So these are the basic differences that you should remember. Stool sodium is less than 70 milliequivalent. You're done? Are you done with this slide?
Yes, sir.
Stool sodium is less than 70 milliequivalent per liter in osmotic, more than 70 milliequivalent per liter in secretory. Reduced substance will be positive in osmotic diarrhea, and stool pH will be acidic in osmotic diarrhea. Both osmotic secretory diarrhea may acidic huncha, tara it is markedly acidic in osmotic diarrhea. Online class. So our body is composed of intercellular and extracellular fluid. Intercellular fluid comprises of almost 30 to 40% of all the total fluid. Extracellular 20 to 25%. And extracellular 5% plasma, interstitial 15%. So whenever there is diarrhea, there is loss. Kaबाट loss हुन्छ होला त हाम्रो बडीबाट fluid depletion kaबाट हुन्छ होला? It is from the
Extracellular.
Extracellular. त्यो पनि it is from the plasma. So we'll come to this slide later. So how do we what is the clinical assessment of a child with diarrhea, and what is the goal of assessment? goal of assessment of a child with acute diarrhea is to determine the type of diarrhea, look for the signs of dehydration, any complications, assess for malnutrition, look for systemic infection, and assess feeding. आइपुग्छन् होला फर्मालिटिजहरु पूरा गर्नु So when you clinically assess the child with diarrhea, you start from history. You ask onset, duration, number of episodes, how many times in a day, presence or absence of blood in stools, associated vomiting, fever, cough, rashes, oral intake, any drugs that has been given, over-the-counter drugs like anti-motility drugs, which is actually contraindicated in children, and immunization history. By history only, you can make out whether child has got a viral diarrhea or a bacterial diarrhea. Please understand, history bada taha huncha. If you come across a child, 1-year-old child who had mild rhinorrhea cough 1 week back, it settled 2 days, 3 or 4 days later. एक हप्ता अगाडि उला हल्का राइनोरिया रुगा लागेको थियो, हल्का खोकी थियो, तर 3-4 दिनमा त्यो सेटल भयो. But after 7 days of onset of this acute viral prodrome, now child has started having diarrhea. He started vomiting 1 or 2 episodes. After vomiting stopped, and he started having diarrhea for the last 2 days. भनेपछि यो हिस्ट्रीबाटै के थाहा भयो भनेदेखि के होला त यो? Unless proved otherwise, this is some viral acute gastroenteritis. Diarrhea which starts after viral prodrome, कुनै पनि रुगा खोकी हल्का sneezing यस्तोबाट सुरु भएको छ भनेदेखि unless proved otherwise, it is virus. There are n number of viruses that causes acute diarrhea. त्यसमा most common is rotavirus. Almost 50 to 60% of all viruses are due to rota. तर हामीले यहाँ यो कुन भाइरस हो के हो भनेर हाम्रो डेभलपिङ कन्ट्रीजमा we do not confirm the etiology of acute gastroenteritis, unlike it is done in US. किन त? Because cost is prohibitive. एउटा कोरोना भाइरसको PCR गर्नलाई it cost around not less than 10,000 rupees government को लागि. हामीले प्राइभेट सेटिङमा गर्नु पर्यो भने it is 10,000 भनेपछि एउटा डायरियल डिजिजमा पेशेन्टसँग चाहिँ पेशेन्टलाई चाहिँ तिमीले 10,000 को टेस्ट गराउन थाल्यो भने हो कुन चाहिँ भाइरसले गर्दाको PCR गराउन थाल्यो भने त सम्भव छ त्यो? So by history you can make out many things. Now when you examine the child, you should look at the condition of the child: eyes, tears, mouth and tongue, thirst, skin feel and skin pains. तिमीहरुले यो कम्युनिटी मेडिसिनमा डेफिनेटली गरिसकेको छ होला. And we classify the child as no dehydration, some dehydration and severe dehydration. यसमा म अलिकति डिटेल्समा जान चाहन्छु. WHO has classified diarrhea को dehydration as no dehydration, some sign of dehydration and severe sign of dehydration based on certain criteria. You have to look at the child and feel, look सबै हेर्ने मात्र हो. Condition of the child, eyes, tears, mouth and tongue and thirst. हामीले हेर्ने हो सबै 5 वटा कुरा. तिमीले छुनु पर्ने के कुरा छ त भन्दाखेरि you look for the skin pinch. Okay. It was seen that the major contributors to mortality in developing countries was acute diarrheal disease. यो 25-30 वर्ष अगाडि. Okay. अनि गभर्नमेन्टले के गर्यो त भन्दाखेरि यो नो डिहाइड्रेसन र सिभियर साइन को WHO ले यो क्राइटेरिया बनाइदियो। हाम्रो नेपालको गाउँ गाउँमा पहिला डक्टर्सहरु थिए त, अहिले त अब गभर्नमेन्टबाट तिमीहरु शिक्षा मन्त्रालयबाट आउँछौ र गाउँ गाउँमा डक्टर्सहरु पनि अवेलेबल छ। तर आज भन्दा 15-20 वर्ष अगाडि थिए त थिएनन्। त्यो बेलामा कसले म्यानेज गर्थ्यो त सबै कुराहरु भन्दाखेरि स्टाफ नर्स, प्यारामेडिक्सहरुले। प्यारामेडिक्स भनेको अहेब, हेल्थ एसिस्टेन्ट, स्टाफ नर्सहरुले चाहिँ म्यानेज गर्थे। यसको निम्ति धेरै स्किल चाहिदैन। अब यो म्यानेज एक्युट डायरियल डिजिज यो क्राइटेरिया अनुसार तिमीलाई हेर्नलाई धेरै एक्सपर्टिज चाहिँदैन। हेरे मात्र पुग्यो, एकचोटी स्किन पिन्च मात्र हेरे पुग्यो। What is not considered in this WHO को उसमा भन्देखि के चाहिँ कन्सिडर गरेको छैन होला स्टुडेन्ट्स भन त एक दुई जनाले? Fontanelles त्यो भन्दा इम्पोर्टेन्ट? Any child with acute gastroenteritis मा?
पेन हो कि?
पेन लौ न, vitals सबभन्दा इम्पोर्टेन्ट vitals has not been taken into consideration. This is the drawback of this no यो WHO को कोही बुझेनौ? You got it? किन भन्देखि a dehydrated child is likely to be hypotensive. नो डिहाइड्रेसन मात्र केही पनि हुने भएन, तर सम अथवा सिभियर डिहाइड्रेसन भयो भने त के हुने भयो त बडीबाट फ्लुइड डिप्लेसन भएर देयर विल बी टैकिकार्डिया, देयर विल बी हाइपोटेन्सन, चाइल्ड विल गो इन्टु शक एन्ड चाइल्ड विल डाई। दिस इज व्हाट इज गोइङ टु ह्यापन इन एक्युट ग्यास्ट्रोएन्टेराइटिस विथ सिभियर डिहाइड्रेसनले शकमा जान सक्छ र बच्चाको डेथ हुन्छ, एक एक्युट किडनी इन्जुरी हुन्छ र डेथ हुन्छ। But this criteria, vitals को criteria, capillary refilling time, pulse volume, and blood pressure has not been taken into consideration. And this is the fallacy of this WHO को criteria. So, if there is no dehydration, child is well alert, normal eyes, tears are present, if tongue is moist, thirst, drinking normally, हामीले के गर्छौं होला त if there are no signs of dehydration, we go for plan A. Plan A भनेको you should teach mother how to prepare ORS. You should teach mother how to prepare ORS भनेपछि के गर्नु पर्यो? ट्याङ तिमीहरूले खान्छौ नि घरमा ट्याङ बनाएको जस्तो अलिकति पानी लिने, अलिकति धुलो 1 चम्चा हाल्ने अनि ORS बनाउने होइन। ORS should be prepared in 1 liter of water. Otherwise त्यसको proportion मिल्दैन। 1 लिटर मिनरल वाटरको बोतलमा पानी लिने, त्यसमा 1 पाउच पुरै ORS हाल्ने अनि आफ्टर इच डायरियल एपिसोड्स अनि जति डायरियाको स्टुलको अमाउन्ट हुन्छ लगभग त्यति नै अमाउन्ट चाहिँ आफ्टर इच एपिसोड्स you should ask mother to feed the child spoon by spoon, sip by sip. You should not expect child to drink gut एकैचोटी खान्छ ठुलो मान्छेले जस्तो भनेर, you shouldn't expect this. Child should take ORS sip by sip, spoon by spoon. You should ask mother to offer fluid more than usual to prevent dehydration. Home-based fluid, you should ask mother to continue until diarrhea stops. Other acceptable home-based fluids are salted rice water, salted yogurt drink, vegetable or chicken soup with salt. You should ask mother to continue feeding to prevent malnutrition, continue breastfeeding frequently. If not breastfed, you should ask mother to give other usual milk. If child is more than 6 months and already taking other food, you should ask mother to give starchy food, give fresh juice, banana, but commercially available fruit juice like real juice and fruity should not be given. किन भन्दाखेरि त्यसमा असाध्यै धेरै चिनी हालेको हुन्छ, तिमीहरूले खान्छौ होला, कति गुलियो हुन्छ, यो चिनीको पाग हुन्छ यो कमर्सियली अवेलेबल फ्रुट जुस जस्तै रियल जुस र फ्रुटी। त्यसमा अस्मोटिकली एक्टिभ पार्टिकल्स असाध्यै धेरै भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि इफ यु गिभ commercially available fruit juice to child, diarrhea will aggravate. That is the reason it should not never given fresh fruits or dina milyo, fresh juice dina milyo without adding any sugar. You should explain the danger signs, increased volume, increased frequency of stools, if there is repeated vomiting, increasing thirst, if there is refusal to feed, if there is fever or blood in stools, you should ask mother to come back to the hospital. तपाईले अस्कल्टेट पनि गर्नुहुन्छ?
गर्छु।
All right, 20 minutes जति लाग्यो. So what is plan A? So in children less than 24 months of age, you should give 50 to 100 ml of ORS after each episode of loose motion. 2 to 10 years, 100 to 200 ml after each episode of loose motion, and more than 10 years child, ad libitum. This is a Latin word, ad libitum, L-I-B-I-T-U-M, libitum hoyo. Ad libitum means as much as a child wants. Plan B. Plan B कसरी थाहा हुन्छ त? If mother says child is very eager to drink, एउटै मात्र कुरा सोधेर पनि there is no sign हो कि some sign हो कि severe sign हो थाहा हुन्छ. Only if mother says or के पनि डक्टर डायरिया हिजोदेखि भएको, एकदम पानी खान खोज्छ, एकदम दुध खान खोज्छ, एकदम thirsty छ भनेर भन्यो भनेदेखि if child is very eager to drink, that is child is some sign of dehydration. So you should give ORS 75 ml per kg in 4 hours. भनेको यदि एक वर्षको बच्चा छ र 10 किलो छ भनेदेखि 75 ml per kg, 75 into 10, 750 ml. So you should ask mother to prepare ORS of 1 liter of water, and in the next 4 hours, coming 4 hours, you should ask mother to give 750 ml of ORS in the next 4 hours. Observe carefully, give slowly, sip by sip, spoon by spoon. If child becomes puffy, you should ask mother to stop ORS. You should ask mother to give plain water or breast milk. After 4 hours, you should reassess and plan to go for A, B, or C. भनेपछि यदि there is some sign of dehydration, you should closely monitor the child. हस्पिटल के प्रिमिसेस वरिपरि राख्ने र चाहिँ प्लान बी सुरु गर्ने. यसलाई आईवी फ्लुइड चाहिँदैन, खाली ओरली नै म्यानेज गर्न सकिन्छ. क्राइटेरिया फर एडमिशन इन अ चाइल्ड विथ सम काइन्ड अफ डिहाइड्रेसन इज इन्ट्र्याक्टेबल भोमिटिङ. यदि एकदम इगर टु ड्रिङ्क छ, एकदम खाना खोजिरहेछ तर खायो कि उल्टी गरिदिरहेछ, अब त्यो बच्चा झन् के हुने भयो त? म्यानेज गर्न सकिन्छ? सकिँदैन. You have to admit that child. So criteria for admission in a child with some sign of dehydration is child is very eager to drink, but there is intractable, narukine vomiting cha. Even after you have given antiemetics, vomiting has not stopped. Your condition cha bhandekhi, you should ask mother to admit the child. At the end of 4 hours, if child is not eager to drink, or the child is drinking normally, stool ko frequency pani kam bhayera gएको छ, 4 घण्टामा एकचोटी मात्र भएको छ, small amount भनेदेखि now we can go for plan A. तर at the end of 4 hours. If child is still eager to drink, you can repeat it once again. You can repeat it once again. But तिमीले सुरु गर्यो plan B, तर child is getting worse. Child is getting lethargic, not able to drink, and you should go for plan C. So it is very, very important to monitor the child with some sign of dehydration and severe sign of dehydration. Plan C. Child is severe, the eyes are sunken, very sunken, tongue is very dry, child is lethargic, not able to drink, and skin pinch goes back very, very slowly. You should go for plan C. So IV fluid, ringer lactate is the fluid of choice. In less than 12-month-old child, you should give 30 ml per kg. If child is 10 kilos, 10 kilos 10 into 30, 300 ml should be given. Ringer lactate 300 ml should be given in the next 1 hour, and 10 kilos 700 ml in the next 5 hours. Sano bachalai lamo samayma dine 1 or 5 hours, total 6 hours. Whereas if child is older and more than 12-month-old, उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ छोटो समयमा दिने. मतलब सानो बच्चाले धेरै फ्लुइड कम टाइममा होल्ड गर्न गाह्रो हुन्छ. त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि we give over a period of 6 hours, 1 hour and 5 hours. In older child, more than 1 year, we give same amount in half the time. So 30 ml per kg in half an hour and 70 ml per kg in 2.5 hours. This is very, very important. You are expected to do OSCE. Your plan C ko OSCE आइराको हुन्छ, and यो राम्रोसँग तिमीहरुले याद गर्यो भनेदेखि it will be easy for you to solve it. You should reassess every 1 to 2 hours, give ORS as soon as the child can drink. Who ORS is recommended, and the indication of oral rehydration saline are to prevention of dehydration if the child if started at the onset of diarrhea. भनेपछि diarrhea सुरु भएको छ, त्यसलाई dehydration prevention गर्नलाई we give ORS. To rehydrate the dehydrated child we give ORS. And maintenance of hydration after treatment with IV fluid, we give ORS. So these are prevention, rehydration, and maintenance of hydration are the indication to give oral rehydration therapy. All right. About your ORS was launched by UNICEF in 1980s, and it is regarded as one of the most advanced finding of the century medical science. And the British Medical Journal at that time, the Lancet, described oral rehydration saline as the potentially the most important medical advance of this century, because this discovery of oral rehydration saline ले गर्दाखेरि millions and million deaths चाहिँ तिम्रो कम भएर गयो. So what are the components of oral rehydration saline? पहिलाको WHO ORS को saline को you don't have to write down, do not write down. पहिलाको WHO ORS को चाहिँ osmolality was यो तिमीले 90, 20, 80, 10 and 111 जोड्यो भनेदेखि एड गर्यो भनेदेखि it comes to be around 311. हाम्रो serum osmolality is 285. हाम्रो न्यूबॉर्न्स को पनि एडल्ट्स को पनि सबै एज ग्रुप को ह्युमन बीइंग्स को serum osmolality is 285 to 295 milli osmol per kilo. 285 to 295 milli osmol per kilo. तर यो पहिलाको WHO ORS को के थियो त osmolality भन्दाखेरि it was 311 भनेपछि हाम्रो serum osmolality भन्दा slightly higher थियो यो. यसले गर्दाखेरि ड्युरेसन अफ डायरिया यो यसले चाहिँ डिहाइड्रेसन गर्न दिन्थेन, तर चाहिँ ड्युरेसन अफ डायरिया चाहिँ सर्ट गर्थेन. अलराइट, तर न्यू किन भन्दाखेरि अस्मोटिकली एक्टिभ पार्टिकल्स धेरै थियो यसमा. त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि नाउ WHO has revised this पहिलाको WHO ORS को फर्मुला न्यू WHO ORS भनेर छ अहिले. यो चाहिँ sodium 75, citrate 10, potassium 20, chloride 65, glucose 75 गरेर the overall osmolality अहिलेको न्यू WHO ORS को is 220 245 जोड्यो भनेदेखि it
composition
composition of new WHO ORS सम्म थियो.
Yes, sir.
ओके, भनेपछि त ठिकै रहेछ त, ठाउँमै थियौँ हामी। सो मैले के भने त लास्ट स्लाइडमा भन त, न्यू हु ओआरएस र पहिलाको स्ट्यान्डर्ड हु ओआरएस मा के फरक भयो त, के छ, के फरक रहेछ भन त।
Total osmolarity.
Osmolality, total overall osmolality has been reduced from
311 to 245.
311 to 245. Okay. So other forms of ORS are serial, यहाँ connection नै lost भएछ, serial based ORS and Rizomol। बेला बेला म सोध्दै गर्छु फेरि कहाँ म बोलेको बोलै हुन्छ, यहाँ कनेक्सन नै लस्ट यो उ हुने रहेछ, बेलामा हराउने रहेछ। सो द मेडिकेसन यो भएको छैन हो
छैन सर।
ल, सो द मेडिकेसन युज्ड इन एक्युट डायरियल डिजिजेस आर, तिमीहरूलाई सबैलाई थाहा छ, यो पढिरहेका छ यो फार्माकोलोजी पढिरहेको छौ होइन, फार्माकोलोजीमा सिगेलाको निम्ति यो लेख। ए म क्लास लिँदैछु, मेरो 10 मिनट्समा लगभग सकिन्छ होला अहिले। अनि कहाँ तिमी कता? ए ल म 10 मिनट्समा स्यामसङसँग पनि सिग्नेचर लिनुपर्ने, म फोन गर्छु अहिले। कसलाई पठाइदिए? राम दाइलाई होइन, आफै जानु भन्नुभएको छ राज दाइले। नपठाउ मनोज सर आफै आउनुहुन्छ अरे माथि। So, Shigella, Escherichia coli, Salmonella, Vibrio cholerae, these are the drugs that is used in clinical practice, and for Intermittent and Giardia, we use metronidazole. So, nutritional management, we use the energy dense diet, less bulky, small, frequent feeds should be offered to the child. Staple food should be enriched with fat or oil. किनभने fat र oil ले चाहिँ तिम्रो सुगर धेरै युज गर्नु हुँदैन, तर फ्ल्याट ओइल हाल्यो भने चाहिँ यो ट्रान्जिट, इन्टेस्टाइनल ट्रान्जिट चाहिँ अलिकति स्लो गरिदिन्छ यसले। porridge in the form of jaulo with oil, rice with milk or curd and a little bit of sugar for palatability. You can add. In non-breastfed babies, cows or buffalo milk can be given undiluted. गाउँमा cows र buffalo milk चाहिँ बेसरी dilute गरेर दिने चलन छ, किनभनेदेखि एकदम बाक्लो हुन्छ गाईको दुध भैँसीको दुध भनेर आधी दुध आधी पानी हाल्ने चलन छ। तर हुन्छ के भन्देखि both human milk 100 ml gives 67 calories and cow's milk, buffalo milk both gives 67 calories. भनेपछि गाईको दुधले पनि 100 ml 100 ml it gives 67 calories, human milk ले पनि 100 ml 67 calories. अब cow's milk मा तिमीले आधी पानी हाल्यो भने what is going to happen? Calories will be reduced to half and child will not thrive if you add water to cow's milk. That is the reason it should be given undiluted. However, I strongly recommend not to use cow's or buffalo milk in less than 1 year old child, because cow's milk protein allergy is one of the most common allergy that is known to mankind. It is very, very common. It is getting recognized in our country as well, and we will be discussing in details in chronic diarrhea. Next class. You should avoid high fiber food and juice with high sugar content and carbonated drinks. Routine lactose-free feeding is not recommended. Lactose-free formula haru paincha, it is not routinely recommended. You should encourage home-based food like rice water, dal, coconut water, curd, jaulo, and fruit should be offered to the child. Done with this slide, students?
Yes, sir.
So zinc. WHO को recommendation के छ अहिले भन्दाखेरि any diarrheal disease like you give ORS and zinc. Okay, this is the World Health Organization ko recommendation, use ORS and zinc. So zinc supplementation in acute diarrhea plays a critical role in metalloenzymes, polyribosomes, the cell membrane, and cellular function. It plays a key role in cellular growth and the function of immune system. That is the reason we add zinc to ORS in any child with acute diarrhea. There are hundreds of enzymatic activity that is going on in the intestine, and zinc act as a catalyst in enzymatic activity. So it is a part of standard care along with ORS. This decreases the severity and duration of diarrhea. In more than 6-month-old child, we give 20 milligram of zinc once a day for 14 days. It is available in dispersible tablet. Zinc, this DT zinc DT, dispersible tablet, 10 milligram, 20 milligram per tablet ounce. In more than 6 months, we give 20 milligram. In less than 6 months, we give 10 milligram once a day for 14 days. So as a ethnic rest I'll do in the next class with chronic diarrhea.